30 days. Blah. 30 days to make 100 videos. Okay, so I'm on video number 70. And so the title of this video is There's Always a Way to Accomplish Your Goals. Hashtag focus. All right, so I am here right now, and I was just going through actually making out my list because, you know, I figured that the first 70 videos, although they had a plan around them on what I was going to do with the videos afterwards, I decided that the last 30 were going to be based on a very specific intentional plan. Okay, and sometimes you've got to start moving in order to get the momentum going so that you can figure out what it is that you're going to do next. And the beautiful thing about that is that if you just start knowing that you're going to come up with the plan, sometimes the plan, the process of the plan, the process of starting, the movement that you engage in creates the momentum and the space for you to actually create the plan. And so as I was sitting here, I started making my list because I thought, you know what? There are some folks. Hey, Todd, how you doing, bro? I know, really. Crowd is up late night. There are some folks that I think would be extremely valuable to interview and to really get their insight on what it is that makes their business model tick and the conviction and the value system that they live inside of their business. So while going through the list of my friends and connections and all of that, I came up with about 43 people that I am going to invite to an interview. I initially was going to say that I'm going to interview, but it's really ultimately up to them. But I would love to interview them because I believe that they have a very unique perspective that they could bring to definitely my audience. Now, my audience, it consists of solopreneurs, nonprofit organization runners, CEOs or executive directors. It consists of, marketers who are wanting to know how to structure their business so that they can show up better in their marketplace for the clients that they serve. And it's also those startup companies, those entrepreneurs who want to know, well, how do I get going with the plan in place so that I know what I'm doing? Even though I may not be able to do everything at once, there is a way that I at least know what it is that I'm looking for so that as my business grows, I know how to grow with it and how to bring in the right talent based on the blueprint that I create inside of like maybe one of my trainings. So as I sat here and looked at this list, I thought, wow, this is a really cool list. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read off the list because this is going to be my memo to me to make sure that I do go ahead and reach out to these people. And the reason being is that because I think that they all are just pretty amazing in their own right, and they do a lot of good for the world, and they've done a lot of good in my life, just either knowing them or watching what they do in and out of their business. So, on the top of the list, I've got TC Cooper. She is the owner and operator of Faith Focus Flow. She's got a movement that she's starting. I'm actually pretty excited about it. I was on the phone with TC the other day, just hearing all of the plans that she's got going. And, I won't say too much because, that's for her to say. But I'm going to definitely invite her to the table to interview. So that's TC Cooper Esquire. And then, of course, our very own Dr. Stacy NC Grant, creator of the Faithpreneur Movement. Dr. Stacy, amazing, amazing individual. She does so much for so many people. And, she is definitely a power hitter in her own right. She is launching She's actually, since COVID, I think she's launched about anywhere from 5 to 7 television shows that are pretty heavy hitting. I mean, from law to how you work with local government, what you do as a startup, how to structure your business. Faith Bites, how you combine faith with your profession. I mean, she's got a lot of things going on, and they're all aligned to really help that faithpreneur do what they do best. I'm not going to go into each and every person's backdrop as I talk, because of course that will probably make this live stream like several hours long. But just know this, that each person that I have on this list, they're pretty phenomenal. Okay. And so I'll try to give you a snippet here and there. Okay. And then of course our very own Shauna and Regina, they are the two new live streaming foodie geniuses, from baked goods to real foods. They're both chefs, classically trained, and they do amazing work. If you've not checked out their live streams, I would encourage you to do that. Shauna of Shauna's Sweet Spots, and then Regina, she's actually going to be getting her page up very soon. So stay tuned for that. I'll definitely be plugging in a link to their information. LaShonda Henry. Okay, Sister Sense. All right, now if you all have ever seen me share things to my page, I try not to share too much because I don't want to overwhelm you. But Sister Sense, she is really good at what she does. Amazing graphic artist, computer scientist, and I just love the way that she shows up for her community. And also, I invited her years ago to be one of the mentors inside of my program that I run in the schools, and she said yes. So, more to come on that later on. But anyway, amazing, amazing lady, and she runs a really profitable and really good business. Makes a lot of sense. Mac Burnett. Now, I met Mac years ago when Blab was here, and then again on Periscope. Absolutely love what Mac does. Again, he really helps businesses that are in startup phase or businesses that are established. He's got his finger on the pulse of marketing. So I'm looking forward to interviewing him and seeing what he's got going on. Okay, Dr. Will Moreland. Dr. Will, team genius, amazing. Not only a dignitary, I mean, Dr. Will really, he is very practical in his process. And when he goes to help people, he works with what it is that you have and says, okay, now you can expand on that. He trains people how to become paid speakers. And I mean, he just really knows his stuff. He's now living in somewhere in the Caribbean now. So he's no longer in Arizona in the States. He's living in the Caribbean, which of course, the Caribbean is my homeland. I'm just claiming all the Caribbean, but I'm a Virgin Islander. So, Team Caribbean. Whoop, whoop. All right. So, yeah, got him on the list. Candace Camille, Plank Talk Nation, the gangster planker herself. Now, I got into planking because of Candace Camille. And, for almost a year, I planked up until my car accident. And then I had to take a hiatus. But I believe that, the hand of God was on me. And by having planked daily, I believe that that kept me from even more severe injuries. So Candace Camille, she is a world-class speaker. She's an MC. She goes all over the world and she inspires people to get their health in order. Okay. So you know how you say, get your house in order, where she says, get your health in order. So Plank Talk Nation, planking and talking. Uh, I got up to my highest. I topped off at an hour and 6 minutes in planking. And that was all because she was driving that push. She was my coach in that. And she wouldn't let me kind of shrink back. And just when I thought, okay, I've arrived, yeah, she kind of let me know, okay, there's more to go, Grasshopper, more to go. So I'll be interviewing Candace Camille, God willing. Pam Perry. Pam Perry, the PR genius herself. A matter of fact, I will co-train with her in the Faithpreneur Q4 training. I did a training today. Pam will be doing a training on PR and media. I'm doing a training on mastering your media. And she's a powerhouse, well accomplished, journalist. She just knows her stuff. Looking forward to inviting her for the interview series. Yifat Cohen. Now, Yifat, I mean, she is of I'mThatGeek.com. Yifat, she has interviewed like the best of the best, from U.S. ambassadors to foreign dignitaries. I mean, she goes all over the board. Marketers, six, seven, eight-figure business owners who are teaching people how to do the same for themselves. I was just on a broadcast of hers just a few days ago. Phenomenal. She interviewed Thorsten Krutz. I hope I said his name right, his last name right. But just on dealing with webinars. Phenomenal interview. Always adds value. So I would love to have her on an interview. So I'll see if she's not on vacation and I'll invite her on. Ruben Arana. Ruben Arana, I met Ruben like over 5 years ago, and he's a phenomenal artist. A matter of fact, Ruben came here when he was in town. He came and visited us at the house, and we just had a great time. We ended up getting on Periscope together and live streaming and just talking about. We talked about a whole lot of stuff, media, arts. He's a prophetic artist, just really talented, and he deals with set design and artistic backdrops. I mean, and he teaches. He's just amazing. So I'll be inviting Ruben Arana, Vanessa Lindley. Vanessa, she is like a financial genius. I love to hear her present and talk. A matter of fact, I met her through Stacy, Dr. Stacy NC Grant, and so I'm in one of her communities. So I'm going to invite her to the interview because, I believe that what she has to bring to the table will really help people get out of financial demise. Sometimes it's just a matter of having the right information so that you make the right moves. But if we don't have the right information, how could we possibly make the right moves? So Vanessa Lindley. Okay, Lenny Rowell. Now, Lenny, we have masterminded together, on occasion. He's a part of another collective that I'm involved in, another mastermind set that I'm involved in. And so Lenny, again, understands internet marketing, understands how to use different platforms in order to create results, in order to generate income, passive income. And I think that that will be a great conversation to bring to my community here. Uh, Michelle Antoinette, she's a singer. Matter of fact, she performed during the virtual Faithpreneur weekend this past August. Phenomenal voice, great story. And I would love her to talk about how, as an artist, she has been able to build and create her own. I think she's now launched her second CD. Anyway, Michelle, amazing voice, amazing person. So would love to interview her. Lethea Owens. I met Lethea. Okay, so it's like two faithpreneurs in a row. So this last one, I got a chance to actually interact with her. Amazing woman. And a matter of fact, her company was the one that did the virtual hosting and the producing of the Faithpreneur Weekend this year. Lethea is amazing. Not only is she a techie geek, and I appreciate a good techie geek, but she's just a really beautiful spirit, and she's a believer who really lives her values and then brings her values to the forefront when she works with businesses to help them scale and grow. So I'm looking forward to that interview. Diana Rose. Diana Rose, foodie after my own heart. She's into natural food. She does a lot of stuff with the, I think it's Laurelton Farmers Market up in New York. And she does these like salad in a bottle things and prepares these foods and, sends them to folks. I mean, of course, they buy them. But she's a foodie and she's a foodie in business to enhance people's lives in a healthy way. So love to talk with Diana Rose. Okay, Cece, Charlene Cece Wilson. That's my sister from the same Mister, our heavenly Mister. You know, she's known to my kids as Auntie Cece, and she's out of England. But I met her on Periscope years ago. She is a coach, and she coaches high-end people to help them get their breakthroughs. I mean, she's pretty amazing. She has quite a few systems under her belt, but she is very intuitive in her coaching. So she's able to unravel, through God's grace, unravel people's stuff in order for them to get to their core issues for their breakthroughs so that they can move forward, increase more their celebrity, their income, their reach, whatever it is that they have on their docket that they're being blocked from because they don't have closure on certain issues that they've got going on in their life. She helps them break through that. Amazing, amazing person. She's very um, mindful. When she hears you, she's hearing not your words, she's hearing beyond your words, and she's hearing even how you use your words. And that helps her to now understand what the next things that she needs to tell you are in order to help you with your breakthrough. Amazing. Okay, I guess this is getting to be long. Okay, Ladrine Howard Peterson. Okay, so Ladrine, I met her 2 years in a row, Faithpreneur Weekend, and Ladrine's amazing. She runs her she produces her own uh, show, her own television show. But Ladrine, she's got a few things going on. Not only is she a business owner and entrepreneur herself, and she works with other businesses to help with their branding and their launching and all of that. She also works with the FDA. So she is like the geek's geek. She understands how to go through and know standard operating procedures and systems and protocols. I mean, she keeps all of that stuff up in her head, and she's an invaluable asset to the FDA. So anyway, she's really got it going on, and I was on her show I think a couple of times, and so I want to return the favor and now invite her onto my broadcast and ask her some of those questions that I believe that you, as an individual, as a person who may want to start their own startup, the things that you need to consider. Okay, so it looks like I don't know if I okay. Internet connection restored. Okay, it looks like I went offline for a second there, so I can see that I froze. All right, so okay, moving down the line, Shaquan Hoke, um, Tabitha Sharice, or Tabby as I know her, she runs a nonprofit organization that helps to benefit a an orphanage in Nepal. Very amazing work, very necessary. This orphanage has 200 excuse me, 200 kids in it. And, I don't normally get, my throat choked up like that. So I gotta check that out. I can talk for hours, so this is new to me. Okay, so but yeah, she has an import organization, import business that she brings things over from Nepal and then sells them, and then the proceeds. There's a portion of that that goes back to support that orphanage. Really cool stuff. Okay, Shaquan Hoke, you know, I love what she does in business to help support businesses. I'm looking forward to understanding more and letting her share with you more of what it takes to run a profitable business, the things that you have to think about, what her story is and how she became successful in what she does. So that's going to be important. Let's see, Nadira Brown, she does the routines, the exercises, and all that for SEQ Moves. That's Southeast Queens Move. It's a health initiative that the Queens in New York that they have in place that Dr. Stacey NC Grant, started moving on. And so Nadira, I met her at the Faithpreneur Weekend, and just hearing what it is that she wants to do in life. She's, I believe, military, but she'll be coming out shortly. And so I'm looking forward to hearing, okay, what goes through the mind of a veteran or soon to be veteran as they transition out of the armed forces in order to now start a new life and to start a new life as an entrepreneur. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. Brandon Burgess. I met Brandon years ago in Vegas. Brandon is a phenomenal videographer and producer. He has some video that he's produced. I mean, from music videos to documentaries to stop motion. I mean, he's really well versed in what he does. Matter of fact, he teaches it, and so I'm looking forward to inviting him because I want to highlight the importance of creativity in business and how you use media in order to develop a feel, a look, a feel, and things that convert. So I will be reaching out to Brandon. Okay, Sherry Riri. Okay, we just call her Riri, Chef Riri. Looking forward to inviting her for an interview. Again, she does some amazing, phenomenal things from your vegetarian to your non-vegetarian, but I can tell by the look of those images. I've never tasted her food because she's on the other side of the world, in comparison to me. But she's Jamaican, she's West Indian. I mean, you know, we kind of have that food thing on lock. So, anyway, she's got some good stuff. We always talk food stuff and health stuff and all that. So, I'm looking forward to inviting her for an interview. Uh, Stephen Jackson. Stephen Jackson, I believe Stephen is the CEO of Weibo. And Weibo is an organization, I believe they're out in New York, and they help folks take an idea from concept to completion, new businesses, and they give them the support that they need, the resources, and help them launch. So, looking forward to talking to Stephen and talking about what folks can do now in the midst of COVID in order to better their financial position without skipping a beat by taking advantage of training to help them to structure a stable and sustainable business. Uh, Michael, he's a producer, a songwriter, a musician, phenomenal, and he has worked in the same programs that I've worked in the middle school sector. Amazing individual, really good with his music, really understands his craft. So I want him to talk about what kids can do and grown-ups as entrepreneurs when they're stepping out on their creativity, the things that they need to look for, to look out for, and how they should be working on positioning themselves from now so that when all is said and done, they've got themselves structured so they can take their art and their talent as a business venture as opposed to being the proverbial starving artist. Okay, so I'm not going to just kind of run through the rest of everybody down here because I got to shut it down. It's getting late. Okay, Dr. Teresa R. Martin Esquire. Okay, met her, faithpreneur, phenomenal woman, phenomenal attorney. She calls herself the triple threat, and so do others. She's not only an attorney and a business owner, she's a mentor, a coach, but she's got, let me see, I think she's got like either three different degrees, three different business structures and models, but she really knows her stuff well. She works with clients, high-end clients. And so I'm looking forward to talking to her in an interview. Tamara Hartley, she is I think they call her the Get It Done chick or the Get It Done girl or what have you. Anyway, she's a part of Dream Do Done with Dr. Stacy NC Grant and Serena Brown Travis. And again, she deals with structure and techie stuff and all of that in establishing your business, taking your concept and moving it forward so that you can actually make that do something on your behalf. So looking forward to that. Cheryl Fields. Cheryl, I have known Cheryl for years. Amazing lady. And her specialty is financial freedom. How do you structure yourself so that you've got money that doesn't go backwards on you, but continues to make itself money? She is about generating wealth. Lifestyle Wealth Group, I believe, is her company, her organization. But anyway, she's a sweet lady, knows her stuff. She was featured in Anthony Robbins' book, Money, Master the Game, I think it was called. But yeah, just phenomenal woman. Eric Mulford. Eric Mulford, amongst other things, other than just being a friend, he's also a trainer. He's got, I mean, hundreds, if not thousands, of videos training on different aspects of sales and platform management, how to use a platform in order to grow your business, systems, automation. So Eric is really good. So I'm looking forward to talking to him. Edward A. Lintott. Okay, so I know Chef Edward from back in the day, back in like 2012, I believe it's no 2011 is when I met Edward. And so Ed, I believe Ed's an executive chef, but let me see, he is a chef of chefs because Edward, he owns a company that puts together spice blends for chefs. So like when you have a signature spice blend and you want it manufactured, Ed handles that. Okay, so I'm looking forward to reaching out to him. Then Heavenly Dew, good friend, photographer, poet, writer, very creative business owner. So I'm looking forward to talking with her and just talking about creativity, how you stretch out in your creativity, her particular take on photography and how she has evolved over the years teaching. I think she taught herself, a matter of fact. But anyway, she's really good at what she does. Amazing photographer. I've seen her work, phenomenal. And then her poetry and her prose, again, amazing. Elaine Canton. Elaine, I met her years ago. She wrote a book dealing with cancer and diabetes, and then the diet that you need in order to give the body what it needs in order to fight it. Phenomenal woman, amazing organization, amazing group that she has. So I want to interview her. We were supposed to interview years ago, and then things just didn't work out for us to do that. So I'm going to reach back out to her to interview. Okay, and then Laura Romero. Now I've known Laura for about almost 20 years, but Laura impressed me the other day, or actually yesterday. I got a message from her, and I saw like a video that she did the day before. Did not know that she has been in the space of fighting human trafficking for about the last 10 years. Very interesting, very serious and needed work. So I'd like to talk to her about, what she does, how she operates as a believer in that space, and how her convictions have helped move her, to continue in this work. It's got to be hard work, just seeing the catastrophic or devastating effects of trafficking. And it takes a special sort. You've got to have a gift from God to do that type of work. So I'm looking forward to talking to her to find out more about what she does, the organization that she serves, and what we can do to help and assist in ending human trafficking. And then Sharon Monet, I saw her on an interview a while back, and she's a publisher, she's an author, she helps people publish their books. She's got an agency. And so I don't know her personally, other than I met her and I sent her a friend request, and then we became friends on Facebook. So I'm looking forward to reaching out to her and talking about the business of authorship. Uh, Let's see, Kevin Anson. Kevin Anson, he's a marketer, but he works with folks and shows them how to utilize video to grow their businesses, how to utilize YouTube to grow their businesses. So he's a fellow geek in that space. I love YouTube talk. I love YouTube optimization talk. And so Kevin, I'd like to bring him on so that he can talk about the importance of really understanding how to leverage your media, how to leverage your videos. Ruben West, phenomenal speaker. I met him, through Dr. Stacy. Again, he was one of the fellow Faithpreneur Gala honorees, the awards honorees. And so I'd like to interview him because I'm sure, and I know that he's got a message for what we are going through right now with the whole COVID shutdown. And that mindset piece, it's important that you keep your mind very solid. So I want to interview him and just talk about some of the developments, what things he's got going on right now. And then S. Monique Smith person. Okay, so S. Monique, I met S. Monique again years ago on Periscope, and there's a new movie out, a documentary, The Longest Living Jane Doe, because for years she didn't know who her parents were. She was kidnapped as a baby, and she was raised by the kidnapper, but she did not know that she was kidnapped. And it wasn't until she got older that things started like not making sense anymore. So I want to talk to her about her story, what she's got going on now, some of the new developments, and she's also a huge advocate and force to be reckoned with in the missing children's and the trafficking, the movement to end that. She's done a lot of work where that's concerned. And so we've had conversations before, so I'm looking forward to reaching out to her and interviewing her. Terica Hood. Terica, she is a mother, business owner, homeschooler, and she was in my first 30-day live stream challenge years ago. And I remember her talking about the things that she wants to do around farming. So I want to hear what the developments are. Has COVID affected that or not? Where she's at now? What she's doing, and how her information could maybe inspire or help you to do what you want to do. Okay, and Kimberly Collins, I've interviewed with Kimberly, numerous times. And I remember Kimberly started doing podcasting and interviewing folks and all that. And she didn't let anything stop her. She didn't let technology stop her. She just went for it. And so I want to see what Kimberly's up to now and how that has worked out for her over the years. I remember that she started on, I think, an internet radio station. She just kept on increasing and expanding. So I want to learn about her trajectory and how she kept encouraging herself through that process, that growth phase. And I want you to know that Justin Ameka, Amika, he is the producer, writer, director. And I remember years ago, my sister danced inside of this. It was the Sankofa Theater out here, Seattle Theaters Group. They put on the Ma'afa, which is the transatlantic slave passage. And it was a musical and dancing and all of that to tell the story of all of the things that happened in the Middle Passage. It was really good. And I thought his directing was phenomenal. So looking forward to reaching out to him and saying, hey, Justin, I'd like to interview you and talk about some of the new things that you've got going on. Talk about, how we met and, what, if anything, is being done, if you've done any new things with the Ma'afa. And I don't think he lives in Seattle anymore. I think he moved to a different state, but I'm friends with him on Facebook, so I'll be reaching out. Kokisha LaShawn, I remember she was in my first live stream video challenge, and she did phenomenal. I saw her grow in leaps and bounds. Well, now she's like, writing books and, leading seminars and putting on events and things like, I mean, pretty phenomenal stuff. She's in an anthology that another one of my friends are in, Roz Knight and Warfield. And so I want to interview Kokisha because I remember she had a specific ministry where her heart was to reach the men who had been incarcerated and all of that. I mean, pretty phenomenal and heavyweight stuff. So I want to see what Kokisha has been doing. Well, we call her Coco. What she's been doing with that. And then Akira Goggins. Now, Akira, I know her from back when my sister was in high school because they went to high school together. And so now she's in ministry and doing some pretty phenomenal things, supporting youth and all of that. And I want to hear what's going on in her life and how, God has really worked through her to do what she does now. And then Spiros Saris, or Spike as we know him, he I think Spike did. Well, Spike, I'm not sure if you worked at NASA before. It was one of those heavyweight places, and just a brainiac. Well, he didn't used to believe in God, and then he did when he read this book, and I gotta find that book because it just went through line by line and broke down the proof that God actually exists. So he went from being an atheist to a believer, and then he teaches on astronomy and how the planets work, and it's even beyond my own geekdom. But he's a real brainiac. So I'd love to interview him. So I'm going to reach out to him. I'll probably send him a text and see if he's up for it. And then last but not least, Desiree Benugo. I met Desiree years ago, back in 2013, when I was in Chicago, her and her mom. Phenomenal, phenomenal folks. And Desiree, she is a social media strategist. She has her own company, and she does this for clients and knows what she's doing. So I'd like to reach out to her and say, hey, I've got this interview. I want to interview you and hear what's new, what the new developments are in your camp. So on that note, you've got the list of folks, 43 folks that I want to interview. And stay tuned. Stay tuned because I believe I'm going to get at least 42 yeses. Okay, if not 43 or 45. All right, and that's because I don't think I'm going to take no for an answer. Sometimes you just have to leverage your time knowing folks just to get them to interview. So on that note, if you want to reach out to me, I am the Jason Hodge. Just go ahead, make sure that you message in the comments or send me a DM or go to jasonhodge.biz, drop me a line. All right. On that note, this is video number 70 on the Harry 100 video live stream challenge, 30 days for 100 videos. I'm on 70. I'll see you later.